What's up, you guys? Teddy Striker here, and this Saturday, the UFC is back in Baku with a solid fight night card headlined by Manuel Torres and Rafael Fiziev. And here are my predictions for all the fights on the main card, starting with Ikram Aliskerov taking on Bruno Ferreira. And I'm gonna go with Ikram Aliskerov getting this done by a second round TKO. He's been working a lot with Khabib Nurmagomedov and that team, and we saw that a little bit in his last fight. He used his grappling a lot more. He's got a great grappling pedigree. Like, when he was trying to get takedowns, like, there wasn't too much resistance. He had great timing and great finishing with his takedowns, and then he was able to establish some good control. And Bruno Ferreira, he just got knocked out, like, it was like in March, so it's really not that long ago. And it's not like he got dropped and then he was still conscious and then he was like hit with a few follow strikes. No, the dude was completely unconscious, and I don't know how he's gonna look in this one. I think he's gonna be a little bit tentative, and I can see Ikram hurting him. I mean, we've seen him drop several opponents with like jabs or very light strikes, but he's got like awkward power, and I think that is gonna show. I think early on he's gonna look for the grappling early, and then in the second round when Bruno Ferreira starts defending a little bit, I think that Ikram is going to be able to catch him with something on the feet and then finish him with ground pound on the ground. So I got Ikram Aliskerov winning by second round TKO. But then we've got Asu Almabayev taking on Charles Johnson, and I'm going to go with Asu Almabayev getting this done by a decision. I think that he is going to be able to get some takedowns on Charles Johnson, but like a lot of the takedowns are going to get defended. But I think the ones he will get on the ground, I think he'll be able to like make it count and keep Johnson for like maybe like the last bit of the rounds. Like, I can see him getting takedowns towards like the end of the round and then just staying on Johnson and then like winning a close decision that way, because on the feet he does like when he's like defending, he kind of does tend to raise his chin even when he's attacking, which could leave counters for a guy like Charles Johnson. And we've seen Charles Johnson KO a guy like Lonnie Kavanaugh because he was like exiting with his chin a little bit up high in the air. Like, Johnson is a bigger frame flyweight, so he could catch him on the end of those shots. But I think that Asu Almabayev is going to be very defensively minded, and he's not going to try to engage too much in the striking with Johnson. I think he is going to be looking for those takedowns, even looking to control Johnson up against the fence and win the fight like that. I don't think Johnson's going to be able to land too many big shots on him, and I think the difference in this fight is going to be the takedowns. So I got Asu Almabayev getting this done by a 29-28 decision victory. But moving on to Nazim Sadikov taking on Mafias Camilo, and I'm going to go with Nazim Sadikov getting this done by a second round submission. I feel like there is a pretty clear advantage for him in this fight, and that's going to be with the grappling. And on the feet, I think he can hold his own. He's a pretty decent striker. He did get knocked out by Fiziev, but that was more like with the ground and pound. Like, Ziem like won with a very heavy grappling approach, which was kind of unexpected. But I think in this one, I think Sadikov is going to be using his grappling a little bit more, and I think he's going to find a submission in the second round. But moving on to the co-main event, we got Sharabole Magomedov taking on Michel Pereira, and I'm going to go with Sharabole getting this done by decision. I think that he's going to be the much quicker striker. I think he's got a lot more techniques in his bag, and I think this fight is mainly going to be contested on the feet. I don't think Michel Pereira is going to be going in there like looking to grapple too much, and I don't think he's going to have too much success in the grappling. Obviously, Sharabole knows that all his opponents are going to look to get him down to the ground, and you know, we haven't really seen that be too effective against him in the UFC. Like, the only loss he has is to MVP, which is one of the better strikers, and he is just very hard to figure out. But I think Sharabole is going to be able to figure out Michel Pereira pretty quickly in this one and get himself a comfortable 30-27 decision victory. But then moving on to the main event, we've got Rafael Fiziev taking on Manuel Torres, and I've been going back and forth with this one, but I think I'm going to go with Manuel Torres to get a KO in the third round. I feel like, I don't know, like looking at Fiziev's fights, like he just gets hit quite a bit. Like, even like going back to 2023, like when he fought Justin Gaethje, like Gaethje was hitting him a lot. Obviously, Gaethje is the champion now, but then even Mateus Gamrot, he was like actually like tagging him with quite a bit of shots that I feel like Fiziev shouldn't be getting hit, especially from a guy like Gamrot. Then he has a knee injury, right? And I feel like that kind of has changed his career a little bit. Like, I don't think he's quite as explosive as he used to be, but then he comes back, fights Justin Gaethje on short notice. Again, he takes a lot of hits. He doesn't really have the best head movement. And then even against Bahamondes, like Bahamondes doesn't fight the right fight in my opinion. I feel like he could have won, but he was just tentative and he was very patient. But when he was actually letting his hands go, instead of just switching his stances, he was actually getting to Fiziev, because Fiziev just kept on trying to counter the bigger guy with a like counter left hook, which didn't really make any sense. Like, he was just backing up and throwing it against a much longer guy. And then he fights Mauricio Rufy and he gets hit so much in the fight, and he eventually ends up getting KO by Rufy. And again, it was like that same like check hook counter that he tries to do, just moving backwards, and like against a guy like Torres, who's again bigger, has a longer reach. I think he is going to be able to catch Fiziev on the end of those punches. And again, Fiziev just gets hit a lot. And to be honest, I don't feel like he has a consistent way of getting to his opponents. Like, we don't really see him like throw too many leg kicks consistently. We don't really see him like having a like consistent jab, consistent like front kicks to the body. Like very often he does miss quite a bit of shots, and he waits for his opponents to come in and then like fire off with like a quick counter punching combination with like some short hooks to the body and head. And that's kind of how he knocked out Renato Moicano. But I don't know, I feel like he would be better in the featherweight division. I feel like his frame would be better for that weight class. I feel like these guys are a lot bigger, and he's taking a lot of damage. And against a guy as powerful as Manuel Torres, I think that eventually Fiziev is going to get dropped and get finished, to be honest. I feel like Torres is a very dangerous guy. I think we're going to see a little bit more from him in this one, but I think he is going to be able to get Fiziev out of there in the third round. So those are my predictions for UFC Baku. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you guys for watching. God bless. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. And I will see you Saturday after the fight.